Hey, good morning. Pastor Chris here. Welcome to the Poolside Chat. Sorry for being late. Yesterday was kind of a hard day, so they happen. We've been talking about women and church leadership. Can women be pastors? Can women be leaders? Can women teach men? And remember, I come from a Southern Baptist perspective, so there is certainly a lot of young women leading church. Young women have been kind of the backbone of the church. They bring families. They wake everyone up. They get us there. I mean, look at our moms. And now they're leaving because outside of church, they can lead, they can direct, they can do everything, except when you go to church. And the question was, is this right? Or why is this said? So Wednesday I talked about in the Bible where we had so many women leaders, judges, rulers, leaders in the church, house leaders. They're there. So where did this come from? There is, in the Bible, they're called the pastoral epistles, 1st and 2nd Timothy and Titus. And they kind of set the standards for how a church should run. I'm going to focus today on one passage from one of these books, 1 Timothy. Letter. Paul wrote this letter to Timothy, leader of the church in Ephesus. And the church in Ephesus, there was a lot of disorder. There was a lot of just disorder. Disorderly worship, disorder in the church, there's disorder. And remember, God is a God of order, not disorder. So this is the context in which this letter is written and how you conduct church. And in chapter 2, let me start at verse 11. It says, "A woman should learn in quietness and full submission. I do not permit I do not permit a woman to teach or to assume authority over a man. She must be quiet." So it's pretty clear, women can't teach. Women can't lead. If it's that clear, why is there such consternation? A lot of the Bible is certainly written in the cultural context of the day, addressing the issues of the day, and working within conventions of the day. So, part of this comes from the church in Ephesus, what Paul's writing to Timothy to address. See, there were women coming in who elevated themselves. They dressed as like flashy leaders, you would say. And it wasn't leadership, it wasn't impressions, it wasn't dress. It was spiritual maturity, I guess is the best way to put it. Maybe they're coming for me. Spiritual maturity. So, what Paul was addressing was a particular situation, a particular time. But why does he say remain quiet, submit to men? Because in that culture, especially Jewish culture, women did not teach, they actually didn't learn. So the fact that they could learn and sit in church was kind of revolutionary. And if there was already, this is how it goes, if there was already upset and disorder in the church, why would you do anything that might add to that from outsiders or people looking in from the outside? So this is the argument that this was cultural. The question comes, does this apply to all days, all times? And even within this, does it apply across churches? Let me read you something else. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 5. It says, but every woman who prays or prophesies with her head uncovered dishonors her head. It is the same as having a head shaved. Notice the fact, whenever a woman prays or prophesies or leads in public, men and women. So that's where the issue comes in. Is 1 Timothy for all time? Was it contextual? Wednesday, I'm going to answer that. But what I want you to take away is that can women lead in church is not as easy as it first appears. So that's where this comes from. It comes from the other two pastoral letters, 2 Timothy and Titus. It talks about men leading. It talks about men doing these things. But again, was it cultural? Was it contextual? Was it for all times? The question is, if it was for all times, what about this verse in 1 Corinthians where women should cover their heads when they pray? Should we be doing this too? So, what I want you to remember is God is a God of order, not disorder. There was certainly disorder in the church of Ephesus. And 1 Timothy was certainly written to address the disorder going on. So let me leave it there for now, but I just want you to see where these debates come in today. Can women preach? Can't they preach? Can women be a pastor? Can't they be a pastor? Can they lead? Can't they lead? Can they lead over men or lead over women? What do we do with it today? This is the debate. And a lot of scripture has been misused and misinterpreted over time. So I want to give you the facts as I best know them and understand them. And let me tell everyone, particularly young women, what do you do with this? We will talk about it Wednesday. But for right now, don't forget, Sunday morning, go to church. Wednesday, actually every day, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, at FL Compass Church. Keep your questions coming. This is a really, really good one. I tried to decide how far to take this. So let me leave it here because I could go into, good gosh, a long time talking about this. But since I'm doing questions, let me leave it here. Wednesday, I'll tell you what we can do with this. And how do we figure it out. In the meantime, have a great week. Come back Wednesday. Let your friends know. Facebook, YouTube, Rumble at FL Compass Church, and now on Instagram, FL Compass Church. Have a great week. See you Wednesday.